Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, known as Michelangelo, was born on 6th March 1475 in Caprice, Michelangelo in Italy. Died on 18th February 1564 in Rome in Italy. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni said every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. Michelangelo's David is massive at 17 feet tall and more than 12,000 pounds, yet it is sculpted from a single block of white marble. On 8th September 1504, Michelangelo's statue of David is unveiled in Florence. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, known as Michelangelo, was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect and poet of the High Renaissance, born in the Republic of Florence, who exerted unparalleled influence on the development of the Western art. His artistic versatility was of such a high order that is often considered a contender for the title of the archetypal Renaissance man, along with his rival, the fellow Florentine and Leonardo da Vinci. Several scholars have described Michelangelo as the greatest artist of his age and even as the greatest artist of all time. A number of Michelangelo's works of painting, sculpture and architecture rank among the most famous in existence. His output in these fields is prodigious, given the sheer volume of surviving correspondence, sketches and reminiscences. He is the best documented artist of the 16th century. He sculpted two of his best known works, the Pietà and David, before the age of 30. Despite holding a low opinion of painting, he also created two of the most influential frescoes in the history of Western art, the scenes from the Genesis of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome and the Last Judgment on his altar wall. His design of the Laurentian Library pioneered Mannerist architecture. At the age of 74, he succeeded Antonio da Sangallo, the younger, as the architect of St. Peter's Basilica. He transformed the plan so that the western end was finished to his design, as was the dome, with some modification after his death. Michelangelo was the first Western artist whose biography was published while he was alive. In fact, two biographies were published during his lifetime. One of them, by Giorgio Vasari, proposed that Michelangelo's work transcended that of any artist, living or dead, and was supreme in not one art alone but in all three. In his lifetime, Michelangelo was often called Divino, the Divine One. His contemporaries often admired his terribilità, his ability to instill a sense of awe. Attempts of subsequent artists to imitate Michelangelo's impassioned, highly personal style resulted in Mannerisms, the next major movement in Western art after the High Renaissance. Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, known as Michelangelo, said every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. Every block of human body, child, has a life, as a mastership, as a godliness, as God, a goddess and a god inside it. And it task of the parents, task of the teachers to discover it. Michelangelo's work, the David, was unveiled today in 1504. Massive, beautiful, with the philosophy behind it. Every one hand, leg movement talks about something. That is the beauty. And when he sculpted it, he knew that he has to sit inside, and then it's not about David. He wanted to make sure that David talks from the statue. Like the Japanese painter, he sat in front of the bamboo shoot, it says. And on the second year, he could start talking to the bamboo shoot. And a third year, he himself became the bamboo shoot. Such is the power of a painter. Such is the power of a rishi. Such is the power of a teacher and a master and a parent. That the parent melts with the child and the child becomes the parent. That Jesus Christ said, I am the Father, I am the Son, I am the Father, I am God. Yes, Son and the Father both is inside. That every block of stone is a statue inside it. When he said statue is not a stone, he meant that every block of stone you can carve. That's why India was very famous for it. But then, not like the Renaissance artists, has become world famous. In every part of India, you can see only statues. And all the statues represents God inside it. Directly, indirectly, they kept on telling, chip every child into a God. Divine means power. The supreme power of the roar of 1,000 men right inside. When you're dancing, you're not called a dancer. Your name itself is dancing. You flow, the fluidity inside it. When you see the picture of the stone carved, you could feel the God is talking to you. And then a philosophy came behind it. It is called Shiva or Parvati or Krishna or Ganesha in the Hindu Samskriti. And so when people go to talk, to tell their problems, as if they're talking to a psychologist, to a doctor, to solve the problems. And the other side doesn't talk anything. The way they see, the way they feel it, they started melting with that stone and they become powerful with all the diseases moved out. Such is the power of an artist who could chip it up. If the artist can chip it up, what is the power of the father and mother, the grandfather, grandmother, the family, the joint family system with many uncles and many aunties? The love is powerful. The love is, in Kannada we say kobre. Kobre means it is a manure. The love, the manure goes so deep inside, the child grows with beauty of love. That is one thing which is divine. Every block of stone has a statue inside it, said Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, known as Michelangelo, and it is the task of the sculpture to discover it. Not only a task of creating a child to make the child study, to make the political leader. I'm talking, when I talk about a child, even the political leader is a stone, doctor is a stone, the engineer is a stone, and it is a duty of the people who could chip it up, correct it up. I have seen many of the times you avoid the political leaders, the doctors and the engineers. If there is something wrong, correct it up, chip it up, make it beautiful. A doctor is divine, is God. When it becomes more commercial, it is your duty. Engineer, if it becomes greedy, then you correct it up. You have to get involved. You are an artist. When you go to talk to the politician, you are going to chip it because he is going to do something great for us. This is the connecting. It is chipped and kept it, chipped and kept it. But the artist kept on telling, our duty to melt with the subject. David, powerful. But he could continue to talk to you, that you and he becomes one. Every block of stone talks. Every block of stone has got a live body inside it. But people doesn't understand this. So why so many Hindus having so many images? But same, they have images in the Western countries as psychologists and psychiatrists. Here hardly anybody has got psychologists and psychiatrists because the joint family, grandfather and grandmother, and the stones carved as the family goddess, family God is our psychologist, because the carving is so beautiful. You and the stone melts to become one. Where is the problem? Problem melts then itself. Every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculpture to discover it, said Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, known as Michelangelo. Today, they unveiled the statue in Florence in 1504. And this is my 173rd short discourse.